So he can make that trouble happen, like you're saying. But we can move on. Next game here, Cleveland Browns going into Miami Dolphins. Browns big running team. Dolphins, quick moving offense with them wide receivers.
This one's tough.
Mostert's doing his thing as well, and I think he's going to be the key. If they want to win this game, I think they need to get Mostert going big time because the Browns secondary can keep up and slow down a lot of wide receivers. We'll see because Tyreek Hill's on a path to destruction the way he's moving the ball down the field this year. He's got more receiving yards than like half the NFL teams do or something like that.
Yep. Crazy.
But I'm going to go Miami because Mike or McDaniel's down there. He's smart enough to realize what he needs to do to win. And so I'm going to go Miami.
Yeah, it's an incredible coaching matchup because Stefanski's done wonders with the Browns. I mean, we forget that they were in the doldrums forever before he came along. I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Cleveland. I love what they've been doing on the ground. I don't love Brissett, but this is kind of a revenge game in a little bit of a way because he was on the Dolphins last year, and they felt like he wasn't good enough to keep around to be the backup there. Ended up going to Cleveland, ended up being the starter. I think it's going to be a tricky situation when Deshaun Watson comes back. I've liked the way Cleveland has played all year. They were losing games at the very end. They've played great considering the circumstances around the team. Amari Cooper in particular has been impressive to me. The defense is getting healthier. You can see it, out there on the field, and they have a lot of talent on defense. We all like their defense coming into the year. I think they find a way to get the upset against Miami. But I do like Mostert. I like Jeff Wilson. That was a great addition. He looked really good and really comfortable in the offense last week. And what more can you say about Tyreek and Waddle? And Tua's having a fantastic year. Very impressed. How about you, Whip? What you got?
I think Brady's right here. I'm going Miami. You could argue that Tua could be in the hunt for the talk of maybe potentially MVP. Coming off that horrific head injury that he sustained and came out on top and hasn't missed a beat ever since. It's hard for me to go, even though Cleveland's secondary is getting very healthy and you got some key additions coming back this week. I'm going Miami here just because of Tua and what he's been able to do this year. Obviously, his long ball isn't what everybody has, it's not there. Like, it's still not there, and you can see it. There were plays, against the Bears where I seen Waddle have to slow down to come and get this ball, but and I told Charlie that was the reason why I drafted Tyreek Hill in fantasy is simply because it doesn't need to be what Mahomes was doing. It doesn't need to be that. They strategically set up this offense. He doesn't need to throw the ball deep ever for any reason. All you got to do is get it in one of these playmakers' hands, and it's a done deal. Now you have these two guys on the edge, Waddle and Hill, and they start making a distraction. Then it goes back to Mostert. It helps everyone out. Everything it's a well-oiled machine right now, and as long as Tua's at the helm, man, I'm taking Tua, man. Let's go, man. What do you got, Nikki? Dolphins.
Okay. So, underdog for me personally is a stretch. I heard you say that, Charlie. The only thing underdog about the Browns in this particular matchup is their ability to get passing yards and the record. That's it. The Dolphins are 6-3, Cleveland's 3-5. And the only thing that the Dolphins do better is throw more yards in the passing game. And then they let up a little less rushing yards. Every other category, the Browns are beating them. They get more points a game. They allow the same amount of points per game. More yards rushing, less yards allowed passing, and then just a little bit of rushing yards more allowed than Miami. So underdog isn't really there for me as far as numbers go. You guys all know I'm high on Tua. 11-0 since he's been on the Dolphins. I can't express that enough. I'm gonna keep saying it until he loses. So definitely agree with what Eddie's saying. Well-oiled machine. Tyreek Hill having a hell of a year. Jalen Waddle and them boys. Mostert fitting in nice. But defense has struggled. And the Browns are rushing the ball really, really well. Nick Chubb at the top of the pack there. I'm going upset as well. Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, if I'm Miami, I go and I watch all the film I can of that Cincy versus Cleveland game, and I do every play that Cincinnati didn't run because that's what's going to work. Everything Cincy tried to do didn't work, so just do what they weren't trying to do.
Well, the Bears ate
they're
the
a similar.
dog.
I was saying they're a similar team-wise. Between fast wide receivers, the run game needs a little bit of help. And your quarterback is, smart enough to know, to play a good game. So I think it's a very similar matchup to that with Cincy, and the Browns did come up on top. I just think that McDaniel's a good enough coach to realize what he needs to do.
No, I'm a big McDaniels fan. He's done an incredible job. Dolphins on offense look great. Just watching the Bears run all over them last week, though, I gotta lean Cleveland just because that's what their bread and butter is. And the pass rush on the other side of the field for the Browns and the defense as a whole is way better than what Chicago's got. So that's why I feel like it's a good upset spot. I think it's going to be a close game either way.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I have an issue taking the Bears' run game because it wasn't Herbert and Montgomery. It was Justin Fields running for almost 200 yards, and I don't see Jacoby Brissett running for 100 yards in this game. So
Definitely not. Definitely.
So it's a different matchup run game because it's just it's a difference between that offensive line and Chubb. It's not Fields finding a hole and running. It's different to me. It's a completely different running game. So I think it's easier to prepare for the Cleveland Browns. But Stefanski knows what he's doing, so he'll make everything hard, and everybody tries to stop them. And Chubb's still the number one